We are trying to reconnect as it were. Oops, connection lost, reconnecting. Oops, connection lost, reconnecting. All right, all right, all right. Are we connected? How's that look? Let's have a little looky poo on the. We'll check the old feedback loop and see what's going on. It looks blank so far. We'll see. Let's see if this bad boy can get up here correctly. Oh, really bad connection, huh? That is what it is. We'll see if it ever straightens itself out. Should not. It should be good. I think they're playing games with me. Staticky. Huh. Let me see if it. I'm gonna try the Restream is really an absolute piece of shit. I'm gonna reboot my thing and see if it works better. Give me a second, guys. All right, all right, all right. I think we're back. Restream is absolute garbage. No, no, Restream. Yeah, you're no way, no. You're absolute garbage. Not sure why, but yeah, I'm gonna use this one for now because I've got a long time left in the month, and I don't want to use up all my StreamYard hours. It's still really bad. And then bring it back in. Really, really bad. Really bad. I'll see if that worked, if that cleared up the other at all. No, I didn't. Still really bad. Wow. Okay, if you are out in Happy Land and you're receiving this transmission, let me know if the audio is as bad as I'm hearing it, because it seems to be jumping in and out, in and out, in and out, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm pretty sure it's just because of StreamYard. And so we'll either keep it on for a minute and see if it can smooth itself out. Are we back? Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, testing. Are we back? Yeah, the blue screen of death. Thanks to StreamYard, huh? The blue screen of death. Death and destruction. Yeah, not StreamYard, but Restream. StreamYard is actually really good, but it's expensive, and I don't have a lot of hours left on it. But Restream, absolute garbage. And but I've got plenty of hours here on Restream. A little choppy on the audio. Let's keep nailing at it. It's a little choppy, but it seems like you're back. Okay. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Let's go live in five, four, three, two, one. Yeah, now it seems good. Okay. It finally corrected itself. Welcome back, everyone. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to protect and guide us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere, and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us those secret things which we must know for the completion of the great work and the glory of thine ineffable Adonai. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. Yeah, welcome back. Good to see you, Rose777. I hope you are doing well. Shabbat Shalom. Hope you're having a good weekend. Blessings and salutations to everybody out there in Happy Land. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. This is Frank Monday Radio, broadcasting to you from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking, far behind the bamboo firewall. So welcome, Wizard, Warrior, Wanderer, Wayfarer, and Wildcat alike, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission. I hope you are doing well. And if it's your first time, don't let it be your last time, guys. Check back often. Check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Put a little something in the tip jar. That'll put the lead in my pencil, the pep in my step, and the jelly in my donut. And ain't nothing like having a jelly-filled donut. Soul Child is back. Good to see you again, Soul Child. I hope you are doing well. Good to see you, Rose777. We're doing some basic one-card tarot reads today, guys. So if you're interested, put those questions in all caps. And I do request that if I pull a card for you and attempt to interpret it to my understanding of the tarot, then I'd like to know where you're tuning in from, like where you're at in the world, and your zodiac sign, and just the nature of your question. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see how today's tarot readings are going to go. Well, isn't it interesting how every time you're here, Rose, I cut to the chariot like over and over and over again? Those old 777s. Elif Beth Gimel Daleth Hey Bausein Chet Tet Yed Kaf Lamed Mem Noon Quafrashens and Quafresh Pezadi. Why am I fucking up that last part of that? That upsets me. I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna let that go unaddressed this time, because it's Quafresh Shen Tao. Cheth Teth. Ooh, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Somebody moved my things. There it is there. Okay, I got it. Yeah, don't be sneaking into Frank Monday's room and moving his shit around. That ain't cute, man. People do that. My kids, my old lady. All right, let's get this worked out one time. What a synchronicity. Yeah, like when Shaddai and Ari and married together. Can you tell me how Daniel is feeling about me? I think he wants me to reach out. I'm in Philly and I'm a tourist. Yes, I will do that, soul child. Right away, right away. As soon as I finish off this meditation that I like to do. Elif Beth Gimel Dalet Hey Vau Zain Chet Tet Yud Kaf Lamed Mem Noon Samek Ayam Pei Zadi Quafreshen. There it is. Samek Ayam Pei Zadi. Why am I getting screwed up on Samek? The thorn, right? Oh God, maybe that's why. Samek is a thorn in my side. Samek Ayam Pei Zadi Quafreshen. Tau. One more time. Elif Beth Gimel Dalet Hey Vau Zain Chet Teth Yud Kaf Lamed Bem Noon Samek Ayam Pei Zadi Quafreshen Tau. There it is. I got it nailed down. I got it worked out. Samek Ayam Pei Zadi Quafreshen. Alif Beth Gimel Dalet Hey Vau Zain Chet Yud Kaf Lamed Bem Noon Samek Ayam Pei Zadi Quafreshen. How Samikayan pays at Equafreshen. Samikayan pays at Equafreshen. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going to happen. First off, how are these tarot readings going to go? Heaven and earth, divine spirits, and ancient masters, your son would like to inquire into the tarot this evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are and whoever you are, all right? Whenever you're receiving this transmission, I would like to know, please respond to me through the system of the Book of Tahuti, Lord of Magic. How will this evening's readings go? All right, and we've got the Six of Coins. Yeah, that's a good one, right? Let's check our wheel first and find out where it's at. Sixes are harmony, cooperation, and healing. Yeah, so we're going to receive some healing and cooperation in this one. We've got the Earth Pentacle, and the six is going to be, where's it at? It's going to be in Taurus, and it's interesting that a Taurus should just have requested this. It's the second deacon of Taurus, and it represents material success and the sharing of that material success, right? So alms. Yeah, good magic, good reaching out. So that'll be a good one, right? Sixes are healing, cooperation, and bringing things together. Put that back away. Harmony, healing, and cooperation. So yeah, these are going to be some good readings, guys. I'm glad you're here with me. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate having the opportunity to once again, like Finnegan, go through the old tarot, the rota, the wheel of law, the law wheel, the Torah rota. See what we've got here. Can you tell me how Daniel is feeling about me? I think he wants me to reach out. I'm in Philly. So, and I believe you're presenting as a female, as a woman. So, heaven and earth, divine spirits and ancient masters, your daughter, Taurian in Philly, soul child, would like to know how Daniel is feeling about her. And she thinks he wants him to reach out, but let's find out. Ooh, cut to the Empress. Looks like he might be thinking very fondly of you. Let's find out, though. Yod hey vo hey. All right, so our first card is the Eight of Wands, which is a very energetic card, right? We see the energy of the passion and the Wands energy having reached a crescendo and even an apex, right? So action, strike while the iron's hot. Action should be taken immediately, according to this card, right? While that strike while the iron's hot, rather. Sorry. So yeah, while that fiery energy, it's the first deacon in Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius. Yeah. So it's definitely it's stillness in motion, as the machine lies pointed out to me the other day. You've got the mercurial energy of thought and magic and projection working in your favor. If you think about the Sagittar with the bow drawn back, steadying it and aiming it and ready to release, and at the same time, his horse legs picking up motion and power, then that's the energy you see here. And it does show that it's a good time to, like I said a second ago, to sh- strike while the iron is hot. I'll dig a little deeper here and contemplate it. I had a brother who was a Sagittarius, and a very contemplative dude. Like, he could get a lot of stuff done, but that that stillness within motion, right? Like the abeyance of holding things poised and waiting to strike, um sometimes seem to baffle me. Like, I'm a little more active, I think, even than that, but I don't have any fire really in my chart. So the advice here says that recent successes should provide confidence to accomplish more. So again, I think that reinforces the idea that yes, make no delays, no more circling the runway. The Eight of Wands is your signal to get things finally moving and fast. This card is all about velocity and no hesitation, whether it's news, energy, or emotions. Something's coming in hot, and it's the momentum you've been waiting for. It's here. This isn't a time to second guess, it's a time to pull the trigger. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, that's a pretty direct response to what you inquire. Yeah. So, um, that doesn't really give us absolutely any indication as to, like, how exactly he's feeling about you. But yes, it is time to reach out if that particular concerns of the heart, right? And in reference to the Eight of Wands in the love position. So yeah, it says that the Eight of Wands in the love position brings excitement, passion, and fast forward energy. Sudden sparks, deep conversations, even making travel plans. And it presents the opportunity for a relationship to level up overnight. Again, that card's all about momentum and that energy rushing forward, but then at the same time being poised and thoughtful and mindful in how you'll release your arrow. Even though, like, things are extremely right now, like moving really fast, it's still important remained poised and somewhat nonchalant. That was always what I got from my brother as a Sagittarius anyway, was like a high level of a kind of devil may care type of attitude, but not wild and wanton. But again, introspective. Yeah. Oh, so we broke up. Yeah, that's probably going to happen here on Restream. Yeah. So thank you for the question. Thank you to the tarot. Thank you to the divine spirits and ancient masters for answering with such penetrating clarity. Yeah. How's everyone else out there doing in Happy Land? Anybody else have a question for the tarot? You guys doing well tonight? What's going on? Does anybody want to jump up here on panel with me and chit chat a little bit? I got a little time tonight. I'll go ahead and drop the link if anybody's interested. Doesn't look like there's it's first thing in the morning for many people out in the Western world, so they may or may not have time to dial in. Hey, Phoenix, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Thank you for reaching out. Phoenix is from the USA and is a Pisces, so very good. I I better write down that for Soul Child as well because today is a new day. It's the 4th of October and it is 10:30 p.m. here in China. And we just did a one card reading for Soul Child, who's in Philly and is a Taurus. Very good, good magic, and it was a inquiry into matters of the heart. Yeah, good to see you again, Phoenix. We're just doing some one card readings and trying to test old Restream and see if it's going to work worth a fuck, which it doesn't always. I found that Restream is the lesser of the streaming platforms. But yeah, it is what it is. You just you got to get shit done. Sophie Daisy May, good to see you again. Welcome. We're consulting the tarot here this evening and just chilling. It's looks like a Saturday night for me. Probably Saturday morning for some of you guys out there in Happy Land. I'm well, man. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my day. I got a lot of good magic done today. I made some real gains on my altar. I would show it to you guys, but it's over there. And I did some really good magic. Made a lot of food. Went through some boxes. Dug up some old treasures. Really a good time. And I thought, what? Better seize the opportunity to share with the folks out in Happy Land my vibe and chill with you guys. Serenity's here as well. Good to see you, Serenity. I hope you are doing well. She says that she is from the Middle East, a Sagittar, and hopes that I'm doing well. Very good. Thank you for that. Yeah, I like to get a few um, details and insights into the people that stop by. So Phoenix. Oh no, that was Serenity. My bad. I already got the details on Phoenix. Serenity. From the Middle East. Wow, what a thing. I've not been to the Middle East yet. Um I may be due for a visit at some point, maybe sooner or later, right? Sagittar. Yeah, so that kind of really coincided with your arrival, Serenity. Phoenix, need to sleep. Yeah, I just got off work. Yeah, get your sleep, man. 10:30 a.m. and you just got off work. Sounds like you were working the night shift. What a thing, Phoenix. Um, what kind of I only never answer a question if you don't feel comfortable answering it, right? But what kind of job keeps you out all night working the graveyard shift? I've had some jobs where I worked the graveyard shift before. Uh, let's get this question out there for Serenity, our Sagittar in the Middle East. Welcome, Serenity. She'd like to know about EJ's feelings and intentions. EJ, feeling and intention. Yeah, let's find out. Lord of the Universe, as we inquire into the Book of Thoth, the Atlantean, your daughter, I believe, yeah, daughter, Serenity, would like to know a little more about EJ's feelings and intentions. Please respond to us via the system of the tarot, Tarot, Wheel of Law, your ancient emerald tablets. We will accept this response, whether it's good or bad. Either way. Adonai, Lord of the Universe. On the cut, let's see what the top card is. Okay, we've got the 5 of Swords. So the 5 of Swords is a bit of an emotional loss, right? It's like kind of getting screwed over a little bit. Maybe that's the current situation, right? It's an emotional upheaval and defeat. Remember, there are two perspectives here that need to be taken into consideration. There's the one doing the dirty deed and the one that gets the dirty deed done unto them, right? So it's the Lord of Defeat, and you can see the stormy skies above. And so in a situation like this, it may be that EJ's intention toward you is kind of not the greatest intentions, right? He doesn't have the highest ideals in mind. I don't know, Phoenix, if you're female or male. You have to tell me. Um, as far as I know, there's either one or the other, right? There's men and women, and boys and girls. And if you are under 18, please please room. This is an adult chat room, and nobody under 18 should be here. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I would see this energy, and let's see where it falls on the deacon chart here. Air 5, air. Okay, there it is there. So the Lord is the first deacon in Aquarius. It's Venus in Aquarius sign. And I wonder why that would play out that way. So it calls upon you to evoke your higher nature through rising above the fray. When skirmishes occur like this kind, like someone's trying to do you dirty or you've been done dirty, then it's important to take a step back and think about wins and losses and what they cost you. So I don't feel like this would be a good sign for their feelings and intentions towards you. It may change based on the love position, but it says for the love position, the Five of Swords is that post fight silence when no one's sure what to say. It can show up after a power struggle, argument, or emotional mic drop that went too far. So if you're dating someone and they're playing games with you, then you might want to consider whether or not a long term relationship is appropriate. The truth is, you don't need to win in love, and both people need to learn to back off in contention and put down the sword. So, stormy clouds. And again, thank you to the tarot for providing this insight. If it resonates with you, take it. Then, if not, leave it aside. I'm going with one card readings tonight, guys, and I can't control how the tarot responds. I can only control how I interpret it. But not the best cards. Swords cards are never the best cards when inquiring into relationships. But uh, there's it's always a mixed bag with relationships. Like they're gonna have their ups and downs, and things don't always go exactly the way we want. Guys, I'm gonna step away for just a second to hit the wooden fish and ring the bell, because whenever I get a little bit of a darker card, I like to kind of cleanse the palette. So give me just a second for that. Yeah, there it is. There, had to hit that wooden fish, guys. Had to ring that bell one time, and and make sure that we're staying dialed in, right? It's always a good idea to, if a darker card comes up, to disperse the negativity, and you can reshuffle and break through it, but you shouldn't ask the same question within a given 24-hour cycle. So if something goes not necessarily the way you want it to, then it's better, to let some time pass and then re-examine it again, come at it with fresh eyes the next day. So yeah, it is what it is. Yes, anyone can ask a question. The only rules I have for asking a question is that you let me know where in the world you're from and what's your zodiac sign. So that's the way we're working through it. And then I got to check back. I got to check through the chat log and see if I missed any questions. Yes, blessings to you, Serenity. And like your name says, sereneness, learning to disengage, not continuing the battle. And if someone is secretly harboring ill intent towards you, then it's better to be aware of it and to just be wary, to be careful. But don't let that cloud your decision. Be willing to take risks. Sometimes you absolutely have to take risks in love. Okay. Phoenix, you know my info already. Yes, I do. Phoenix, did you have a question? I can't find it here in the chitter chat box. Make sure you guys check out the 5 pound box of wishy washy dish soap. Get a 5 pound box of wishy washy dish soap at Thompson's Five and Dime. 20% discount in your Sunday paper. Comes with a complimentary wishy washy dishcloth. Phoenix, I don't see your question. You say, Sophia, I'm a female. Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. Where is your question, Phoenix? You know my info already. Yes, I do, Phoenix. Um, Queen, Queen is from Boston. I'll write this down real quick. Queen from Boston. And you are Queen's the energy I'm getting on my pelvic negative. It seems heavily intimate. I don't see your zodiac sign, so I don't know if you're being genuine. Sophia's American, Sagittarius. Sophia Daisy May. Sophia, did you have a question? Daisy May. Bostonian, you said, right? Whoops. Oh no. How did I highlight that? Yeah, the chat's moving a little fast for me, guys. I gotta try to. Okay, so say Sophia Daisy May's question is about timing. Does Holy Spirit have any guidance for me? Okay, good question. I'll deal with yours first, Sophia Daisy May, because I don't see that the other person has given their zodiac sign. And you said, Sophia Daisy May, that you are a Sagittar. Very good. A lot of Sagittarius in here tonight, man. Good looking out. Good magic to you guys. Let's get the cards ready. We'll wash out the energies and shuffle them up and see what we've got. Let me pull back up to that question. It's about timing and energies. It's so easy to get lost in the chat sometimes, like especially when it's moving pretty fast. So, heaven and earth, divine spirits, and ancient masters, we call upon thee as a divine oracle from the highest ninth heaven, Ling Bao. Send the positive energies of Qianluo, Dana, and Dunkan to destroy our spiritual obstacles and respond to us via the Book of Tahuti. Provide us with timing. Holy Spirit, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Bring forth a message from the Spirit, from the Holy Spirit, Lord. Guidance at this time. Okay, wow. Happening quickly. I turned over to the Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords is not going to give an exact indication as to the time, but as you can see, the Knight is in motion, and so things are happening lightning fast. So again, like our Eight of Wands, if this is a question about like when to act, then the time to act is now, right? There's no time like the present. The Knight of Swords can also have quite a bit of danger and gossip and intrigue associated with it. So it's something to be wary of. And as a result, it asks the querent to refine their communication and negotiation skills and get up to peak level in communications. Let's see, knights are air within air. Is that right? Yeah, it might be. I'd have to double check. But the general guidance is that this card is pure adrenaline, charging straight forward, zero hesitation, mind on fire with a mission. When it shows up, you've got something to say, a cause to fight for, or a plan that needs to happen now. So timing is about speed and strategy. So pace yourself and take it easy because there can be blowback from this. It's about taking bold action and having zero hesitation and fiercely concentrated on an idea. You can see that the clouds are whipping by in the background, but they're not necessarily storm clouds. They're whiter than the last clouds, like in the Five of Swords. They're not gray. Um, Trees as well. You can see the trees blowing in the background, blowing in the breeze. So let me continue to look into this. Sagittarius from American. This was for Sophia Daisy May. Sent my ships out and I'm longing for them to come back in with the manifestations. Thank you for the reading. Yeah, no, thank you for the question. It looks like they're headed back in with due haste. So there should be a manifestation and a response, an immediate response from not only the tarot, but from the responsive nature of the universe. However, keep in mind, right, the cutting nature of swords, and realize that there's always bound to be something tied up with that. So yeah, there it is. It is what it is, right? Knight of Swords coming at you. Good magic. I appreciate it. Thank you for the question. Got a lot of swords tonight. Getting a lot of swords. Let me see. Was there another question in the chat box, guys? I posted my question above. Says Simram Priyat. Simram Priyat. Let's see. Have I read for you before, Simram? No, I read for a Shriya. So Simram, I don't think I've read for you before or recently anyway. You're going to need to tell me your location and your zodiac sign. Simram Priyat. And let me get above question from Phoenix first. Yeah, so Phoenix says that he or she, I think I misgendered you a moment ago. In regards to love, what's coming towards me that I need to know about? I'll repost. Okay, thank you for that. And Queen is a Cancer. Hey, my daughter's a Cancer. Lovely sign. I love Cancers. Um, I love the starry crab, right? And Phoenix, did you post your, let's see here. Look through my notes. Give me just a moment, guys. Phoenix, you know my info already. Okay, yeah, that's right. Good magic then. Okay, Phoenix. So your question, you reposted it. I posted it, but I'll repost it. What's coming in towards me that I need to know about in regards to love? Oh, say another question of the heart. I love questions of the heart, guys. Wonderful to see Thank you for that. Thank you for being patient with me, Phoenix. Thank you for being patient with me, Sophia and Queen in Boston. And thank you for being patient with me, Siram Priyat. We're consulting for Phoenix right now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. And the question is matters of the heart. And you told me you have my info already. Yeah, I probably do. I don't have all of my charts in front of me right now, Phoenix. What's coming towards me in matters of the heart? So let's shuffle up. Let's shuffle up, I guess. Um, Interesting things. Interesting things happening on the cuts. Atamakut Vegubra Vegudla Leola Mamen. Ooh, big energies on the cuts, Phoenix. Wow, really big stuff. All major arcana. So these whatever's going on right now with you, Phoenix, something is coming towards you and it's beyond your control. The major arcana, the archetypes, the pantheon of gods that are intermediary between us and the all God, right? The large God on high, those ancient pagan pantheons that intercede between man and the big universal energies are working overtime right now. Let me focus the question into the cards. Come towards me that I need to know about in terms of love. And then I'll make a cut. And then we'll draw our first card. Oh, happy times. The Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, it's a good card. It's a card of blessing, joyful reunion, communion. It's good times. It's time to celebrate. It's time to drink the wine, enjoy the uh, the nectar, as it were. It's a fiery sign, and we've got perfected work. It's Venus in Aries is the placement. Perfected work, joyous times. You see revelry going forward. You see celebration. So, in terms of love, if you're looking to reach out and find a new love, then it would be a great time to go out to gatherings or parties. If yeah, you're a Pisces. Okay, that's right. Yeah, I had that info here. I just don't know where it went. My notes are kind of getting out of hand on me right this second. I think it's in my book. Yeah, so it's a good time to reach out. Now, it depends exactly what you're interested in. So like again, if it's in maintaining a relationship, then yes, taking some time to celebrate the wins and the big things and go out and share in the good times with friends and family. I'm going to pull a couple more cards here. Now we've got the of Three of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. I'm going to pull one more because it seems like a really interesting balance of energies going forward. So I went from the Four of Wands to the Three of Pentacles, which is the card of the Master Craftsman. So I think this somehow does reinforce that original idea I had that now is a good time to collaborate and look for other people to participate in revelry, communion, and celebration. Threes represent expression and groups as well, and fours are foundations and manifestations. So I think that the three is adding the idea of refined practice to the thing and continuation in what you're doing. In the three, we see the master craftsman, the person who commissioned the work, and the architect all looking on, right? They're all collaborating. So I would think that collaboration is a strong part of this, gathering together and collaborating and perfected work. So if it's a yes no question, then your answer's an easy yes with very little in the way of drawbacks. However, there are some unseen things emerging that have yet to be revealed. So let me get back to the question. The question was, what's coming towards you that you need to know about in terms of this area? Yeah, be on the lookout for opportunities to engage in reunions and parties, greater levels of fellowship, especially in institutionalized places like church or whatever other types of social things that you go to. Um, spend time in buildings and worthwhile whatever situation you're most concerned about at this time. All right, guys. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for the question. Thank you to the tarot for responding. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe. Thank you for taking the time to be with me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. I think I'm probably overlooked a couple of questions, guys. So I'm going to take a moment to have myself a JP Farrell. Smoke them if you got them. I've got them right here. And while I do that, I'm going to look back through the chat very carefully and see whose questions I've missed. So if that's my starting point for my question, then let me get back in here and double check. Yeah, so we've got Simran Priyat from Australia. Welcome. What a thing, huh? Australia, I think you're a little ahead of me in time, so it's kind of pushing into the evening for you. And you're a Pisces. And you want to know what's coming currently in the way of career and job? Yeah, good question. I like those kinds of questions, Sriam. I mean, I like all questions, and all questions are good questions. Yeah, so I'm going to throw that one up on the board. Thank you for asking it. As soon as we finish this little bit of tobacco that we burn to the spirits to appease them, we'll jump right back in there and ask the tarot for Siram from Australia. How's the weather in there? How's the weather down under right now in Australia? Good magic, huh? I've never been to Australia. Queen says it's his or her turn. It's Queen's turn. Queen, did you give me all of your data? You said the person I've been in contact will be reaching out the last time you read for me. Yeah, it's night there. Okay, you're waiting for your turn. Okay, Siram, it looks like Queen is the energy I'm getting on my pelvic negative. It seems heavily intimate. I'm not sure I understand your question. Can you word it in another way? And then Ascending Ancient, I will draw a card for you right after that. So I'll try to get Queen to clarify because Queen, I don't know that you ever told me trying to bully me about it, but I'm not in a relationship. Okay, I see that. It seems negative. Oh, you're a Cancer. Okay. Did I write that down a moment ago? Yes, I did. And you're from Boston. Okay. So yeah, as soon as I finish my smoke, as soon as I finish my smoky smoke, Queen, we'll get right in there and we'll check it out. Yeah, it takes some energy. I can really feel the the energy at the jade pillow when I read a lot, like a lot of readings in a row, and it does, it taxes the being. It's better not to jump from reading to reading to reading, but I do have fun doing it, and it's better to get in more deeply intimate with a querent and try to find out the background details and do their birth chart, and then look at some other factors, maybe do some facial reading, some palm reading. All of that can be done here online, but it's a more in-depth process. You got to kind of go one to one, and then you can pull some cards, maybe do some I Ching and some oracle bones, maybe the ruin stones. There's lots of different ways to approach it, and you have to kind of go with the intuition of what's the best way to approach and crack the nut, as it were. Situations that querents face could be like Gordian knots. And Alexander the Great, he just whipped out his sword and he sliced right through the Gordian knot. But that's not always the best way to approach everything, right? If all you have is a sword, then all you can do is cutting, right? Like the old expression goes, if all you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a fucking nail. That's why the tarot in and of itself, 78 cards, 22 major arcana, 22 bones in Golgotha, right? 22 headstones in the graveyard. There are, multifluous ways to approach things. And just going with one card can give you some indication, but it's just kind of scratching the surface as you start to develop, like a tree of life, and then spread it out, put a zodiac around it, and then possibly do like the three mother letters, and then some other powers perhaps. Then you can get a lot deeper into the thing. And at the same time, divination is not fortune telling. This is a form of divination that's trying to get to a deeper underlying current. I just heard someone laugh really hard. It was probably my son. He's probably in there watching Big Bang Theory or Seinfeld. It might have even come from outside because my window is open and a lot of people hang out in the courtyard and do crazy shit at night sometimes. I heard someone out there the other day at 2 o'clock in the morning with a couple of barking dogs. And I was like the old man hanging off my balcony, shut those fucking dogs up. Just kidding. I didn't do that, but I thought about it. I did think about it. Let's finish off this tobacco, guys. Burn it for the spirits. Okay, so good. And thank you for giving me more insight into what's going on, Queen. I can deal with it in a little more depth. So, Queen, let's get ready for this. Let me say a quick prayer. Atamakut figubra vigudla leolam amen. Elif Beth Gimel Dalet Hey Val Zain Chetet Red Kaf Lamed Mem Noon Samek Ayin Pei Zedi Quafresh Shen Tao. Oh yeah, good magic. Let's get a little shuffle on these cards and see what's going to happen. We approach thee yet again, O great tarot, book of Tahuti. Queenie is feeling a bit of a psychic attack, like an evil eye. And look, we cut to the 5. There is some kind of psychic attack underway. We call upon the power of the tarot to see which is the best way to ward off such negative influences and to find a better way forward. Another dark cut. Yeah, it does look like you're under some dark auspices, Queen. And you would be very sensitive to it as a water sign, as a Cancer. Almost like an evil eye. Let me see. Okay. This energy I'm getting on my pelvic area negative. It seems like someone's cheating on me and trying to make me feel bad about it, but I'm not in a relationship. Almost like the evil eye. The energy is cheating stuff. Like feeling masculine energy. Okay. Wow. That sounds like almost like a demonic affliction. Okay, we did cut to a masculine card, a knight. So the Earth Pentacles, this would be an organ maybe associated with the liver or the spleen. So there could be some inflammation in the liver or spleen. You might want to look into that. Is it psychic related? Ooh, that was in the cut and then it came right back up. So it's definitely an earth related phenomena. A five, there's some sort of change and transformation going on in that area. What are other earth organs? Yeah, the liver, the spleen. Um, if you at all use alcohol or have been accustomed to in the past, then I would say avoid it entirely at this time. Go a little further. Oh yeah, there's some internal damage maybe associated with that area, some inflammation. So what's the best way to break through it? Yeah, yeah. So um according to the advice given by the tarot here, and I'm not gonna um I'm not gonna overload you with everything that's in front of me right now, but I would say that less intake of fluids and more gentle movement, perhaps going for a walk each day if you feel the pressure, um some gentle massage on the center dantian, and avoiding any inflammatory liquids like coffee or any other strong, or even like fruit juices aren't great at this time. The best thing is like boiled water, maybe with ginger or lemon. Uh, it doesn't seem to be. I don't see any indication of anything supernatural or spiritual that's happening, but I just see possibly some gastrointestinal unease. And this is a common time for it. In fact, I'm not sure. You said you're in Boston, so the weather's getting colder. The lungs will contract more. The bowels will become more easily irritated in this weather. There's a drying effect going on. And even though you may feel like more thirsty per se, you should ingest liquids more slowly and gently, and yeah, and take more walks. But no, I don't see any type of psychic influence in this situation. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, follow-up question, go ahead, fire away when ready, because it seems like for the most part I think we're the only ones lined up right now. Is there? Oh no, no, I need to handle Siram Priet. But yeah, if you have a follow-up question, I'd be more than happy to go real quick, because you are quite active in the chat right now. And so I'm not sure if Siram Priet, are you still here? Because I believe Siram was next in line, and then someone else. You guys will have to remind me. Oh, and then Ancient Ascending Ancient, which I need to get in there. Ascending Ancient. I shall hold the question. Intention just. All right, yeah, good magic. Sophia. Yeah, have a great day, Sophia, if you're still here. Good to see you, and thank you for stopping by. Thank you to everyone who's out in the chat. Is my soul in danger? He's asking for help. He's a gangster. Backup questions here for Queen. Go ahead. Follow up question. Yay. Okay. Is my soulmate in danger? Is he asking for my help? He's a gangster. Okay, Siram is still here as well. Good. Um, yeah, that's kind of a tough thing to inquire into. Is your soulmate in danger? I'll just do a real quick yes no type of cut on it. Again, that's something that you'd want to meditate on a little longer and go a little more in depth with. But yeah, I think the tarot can handle just about anything, any and all inquiries. No, not at all. And for some reason, he or she, your soulmate, whoever you mentioned a moment ago, is going to receive a boon, a material boon. This is like a perfected material gain. It's great success and aid from a gal in a position of power to offer aid. Someone, maybe you even, someone that can offer a financial assist at this time. So yeah, there's good energy in store according to the tarot. Um, okay, Siram wants to know about career and work. Lord of the Universe, respond to us via the system of the tarot for Siram Priyat in Australia, a Piscean deeply interested in finding gainful employment. Is that coming forward soon? And if so, when will it appear? We cut to the magician, so you do have the power, Siram. All you need to do is harness it. Let's get that cut. Interesting. Oh, I see. Fascinating. All right. So that job that you're looking for is going to take some time, Siram. It doesn't look like anything worthwhile is going to manifest immediately. In fact, we're looking at it's always hard to break bad news, right? Um, what I see coming into the immediate future in terms for you is that there is energy building like waves out at sea, but they're distant and hard to see. And some of them are violent and turbulent. And as those waves come in, you're going to want to ride the third one, right? So there'll be a minor opportunity that at first blush seems like a big deal and it seems appropriate, but it won't be. It'll be something that causes you loss and hardship. That there's going to be another opportunity following that, and as that one comes in, it's going to be better and filled with greater energy, but you might miss it. So the third one would be the ideal response to what's going on. Now, what can this take the form of, right? So the first one can take the form of communications or calls or emails or something you find out about online. And like I said, it's going to look like a big deal, but it's going to turn out bad. So be wary of that. The second one should come to you by way of other people, word of mouth, things through the grapevine. And if you can seize on that opportunity, it's beneficial and good. But the third one seems to be the one you'll be able to lock in on most definitely. And again, it will take time. It's not something that's going to arise immediately, though the energy is building and moving quickly. And since you're seeking, ye shall always find, right? Ask and ye shall find. Knock and it will be opened unto you. Um, Ask and ye shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. But it's going to take 3 knocks, according to what I'm reading here. So I won't go too far with that. Thank you and blessings, Hiram. Thank you for the question. I hope that speaks to you. Remember, everyone, tarot divination, it's unerringly accurate, but it can be interpreted in a number of ways. And so it's important that the querent should seek deeply into reflecting upon what is brought about and take time to digest, as it were. You worked hard in your previous job and your boss betrayed me and didn't appreciate it at all. Well, then, yeah, then I mean, those types of situations are better to move away from if you can, right? And sometimes losing a job is actually a motivating factor to get one into an even better position in the future. Mm, that's really good nectar right there, guys. Okay, so that I think takes care of my list for now, except for um ascending ancients. And let me back up a little bit and find where it was. Ascending ancient, are you still here? Because I only like to read for people if they're actually still around. So let me see if ascending ancient is still here. Good to see you. Welcome, Brent Edwards. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for the sir. That's very lovely. Oh, thank you for the reading. And you're hearing number three a lot, huh? That's interesting. Number threes, according to numerology, represent expression, groups, and growth. So I think it's a it's a powerful thing to contemplate the aid and opportunities that networks and friendships can offer us. It's one of the really bigger things. Okay, Ascending Ancient, I'm going to draw a card for you next. Open ended, see what the tarot tells us. Um, in the Chinese culture, like networking and having what's called guanxi is like one of the most important aspects of life. I've had to shift around quite a few times in the last decade within my not quite a few, but a few times in my career living space, living in hotels and going here or there. And at the first part of my career, I was always in motion, like Mercury, with the winged helm, just flying here and there and all about. And really, I developed a reputation as a go-getter and someone who is able to win big contracts and get things nailed down. And it was only because of that networking and developing a reputation of always being willing to be working hard, never complaining, and having some natural talent. Like I've got the three winning factors. I'm not an entirely ugly man, and at the same time I tend to be more humble and sincere, and I'm willing to work hard doing just about any kind of job. And I worked hard in college, and I've worked hard in every career that I've pursued, and it gave me something to fall back on when if something went wrong, or if a company shut down, or I lost a job, or I had to change jobs. I was able to reach out first and foremost to people in my social network and ask them, hey, what's available? Do you have a recommendation? Do you have an idea? And in fact, if I dwelled upon it, not dwelled, but if I contemplated and did prayer and meditation and magic along with it, like I wouldn't even have to do anything. The good Lord would send someone forward, a guardian angel, a holy messenger, to show me, some light in a new direction. And I always had the support of the community and my family and the people around me. And I think it's super important that we do that. That we rely upon those networks, first and foremost, the ones closest to you, if you can. And if not, then you might have to spend a couple of decades building them, like I did. Um, yeah, but it is what it is. Good magic nonetheless. Ascending Ancient, welcome. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one. Heaven and earth, divine spirits, ancient masters, earthly gnomes, airy sylphs, watery sprites, airy sprites, and watery sylphs, and fiery salamanders. Bring forth those energies that will help guide and bring general energies to ascending ancients' query at this time. We accept wholeheartedly, whether it be great good fortune or its opposite. Please respond via the tarot. All right, first card, we've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the card of memory, meditation, institutionalized ritual, could be dogma. This is a spiritual guide, the guardian at the first gate for initiation into a new field or endeavor. So I see a powerful figure coming into your immediate situation to offer guidance and counseling and to throw open the doors of the temple. Where will this lead? Ooh, it's going to lead to great good fortune. It's going to lead to a form of productive, beneficial employment that's going to sow all kinds of new seeds of great fortune. The Ace of Coins is the talisman, the pentacle, right? The talisman of wealth and fortune. So buy a lottery ticket, right? All signs are pointing towards an unveiling and a bringing to fruition of powerful financial resources on your behalf. And this may be brought about by a connection in the church, or a connection in a form of institution that will lead you forward in a direction that will be fulfilling and invigorating and interesting. All positive things here. So I did a little 3-card spread for you, and we had that. Oh, and it's going to be something that comes up out of your memory too. So this is probably someone you already know and maybe haven't spoken to in a while, or needs to be reached out to in order for that opportunity to appear. But yeah, focus on the spiritual things within your life, prayer and meditation, and something is going to be revealed. Some bringing forth of the great fruits of the earth, the fruition, the reaping of the harvest. So it's a really good read, a really good 3-card read. Blessings to you, Ascending Ancient, and good magic. Huge thanks to the tarot. Yeah, no, thank you to you, man. Thank you for the question. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone for tuning in and saying hello to Old Frank Monday as we shuffle some cards. Brent Edwards would like a card. Draw a card for me in a general way. Thank you for your time. Yeah, Brent, I'd just like to know where you're from and what is your zodiac sign. And we can get into it, man. We can dig in. I like the Hierophant. It's the high priest card, right? Um it's the course. Well, the high priestess is the correspondent to the uh to the magician, as the empress is the correspondent to the emperor. And then we have the Hierophant, the fifth. It's like the first manifestation of like a truly hermaphrodite type thing, right? Like, because obviously celibate, sometimes eunuch. Arkansas and Capricorn, good magic. I haven't been to Arkansas in a while, but I have been. I got some property in Tennessee, So I'm a bit of a Tennessean myself, Arkansas. I appreciate you being here. Good looking out. Well, you know, good biggin. Um, yeah. So, where was I going on about that? Oh, yeah. It's like the first type of the re-emergence of the mercurial energy of the Fool, but in a more completed state. It's like I would say to an extent like the first leveling up of the Fool energy, because the magician's not. I mean, if we consider the Fool's journey, the entire transformation of the Fool throughout the entire major arcana, we can see it that way. But this is really like a reintroduction of the Holy Spirit in the fifth card, and its initiation into the worlds beyond. Right after this, we're going to see the officiation of marriage, right? A huge stage in the major arcana, the alchemical marriage of Christian Rosenkreutz. And we see two trinities playing out there, right? So it's almost like the hidden trinity of crossing Doth. You see the Hierophant with his two attendants below him. So it's a trinity rising upward. And then in the next one, we see the trinity of the Holy Spirit upon the waters of the deep, right? With um, the marriage, the alchemical marriage of the masculine and feminine in the card of the lovers, right? And then in the next, we'll not get too deep, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's good stuff, good magic. All right, so and guys, if I missed anyone in the chat, then let me know. If not, this is going to be the last reading for the evening, and I believe I already dropped the link. If somebody wants to come up and just like chit chat and talk about tarot, that would be one way for me to hang around for another bit, you know, another 30-40 minutes or whatever. But if not, then we'll start to tie it up, because it's been quite a thing, man. I've done quite a bit of these tonight, and I don't want to strain myself too much, and I don't want to strain the tarot too much. I don't want to ask too much of the tarot itself, right? We got to show um, our deep appreciation for it. So what was Brent's question? Draw a card in a general way. Thank you for your time. Yeah. So Brent Edwards, great name by the way. Fuck, I had a guy when I was in junior high. He was one of my best friends. His name was Brent. Arkansas, Capricorn. We'll be moving into Capricorn really soon too, right? Let me check my zodiacal dictionary, zodiac calendar. I believe coming up in the rotation. Am I right about that, Wayfarers? No, we're going into Scorpio next, and then into Sagittarius, and then Capricorn. Oh wow, we're quite a ways out from Capricorn still. All right, you know, it is what it is. Good magic. I'm no astrologer. Everyone knows that. Love share. Hold back on the back burner. We'll see if we can get to you. Brent Edwards, Heaven and Earth, Divine Spirits, and Ancient Masters. Your son, Brent Edwards, would like to have some guidance in a general way. Ooh, wow! Cut to a really big winner right there. I don't know if you saw that or not. Please respond via the system of the tarot. We will accept this response whether it shows good fortune or misfortune. And we may triangulate. We may do a couple of cards for you, Brent. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to cut. And our first card revealed is the Ace of Wands, a very powerful token of fiery primeval energy. So, great time to start a new endeavor. Next up is the 17, the star, the card of hope, moving out of those dog days of summer, right? Serious. And then the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so what I'm reading here is it's a good time. Your lucky star is shining, Brent. And now is the right time to start an endeavor that will bring you rewards in terms of your spiritual cultivation and your passion and your enthusiasm. So if you've been thinking about getting something going or like reinvigorating something you had done before, it's absolutely the opportune time to do so. The stars align and all indications are go. And then on top of that, it looks like you've already got the material resources and foundation to do that, to possibly do a little investing, to hedge something away, as it were. Look at, so with the Seven of Coins, Seven of Pentacles, you see that you've got this large bounty of things stored up that you've already cultivated. And at the same time, you can kind of start breaking away from that, break off a little something, something. And don't be selfish with your, don't be too overly chaste with yourself at this time. Like pull forth some of those resources that you have at your disposal to engage in some new energetic endeavor, because again, your lucky star is shining down on you at this time. Yeah, there it is there. Yeah, no, thank you for the question, man. Thank you for stopping by. And I hope you guys enjoyed the transmission this evening. Make sure you hit the like button, sub the channel if that's your thing. Come back, check back often. Um I've been hard at it here for over an hour and 20 minutes, and that's it looks like it looks like Love Slane retracted their query. But I did drop the link, guys, and I opened the panel to anyone who might like to come up and chat a little bit with me. If not, I might play a video and then head off into the abodes of the future. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. No? Okay. Yeah, it's good magic, man. It's a thing. It's the first form of magic, according to Israel Regardi in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. If you see here, I was just covering this on the last transmission. I did a bit of a quick transmission earlier in order to explore some of the ideas within the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And I thought I would share that with you and bring it forward. And then here we can see from the text. Let me pull it up real quick, guys. Um, Here, let me pull it up. Give me just a second. Okay. So he says, in order to present a bird's eye view of the entire field of magic, let me summarily state for convenience the subject may be divided into at least three major divisions: one, divination; two, evocation; three, invocation. And then he's going to define each at length, right? So, with regard to the first division, divination, which we were just doing by way of the tarot, the magical hypothesis is quite definitive. It holds that divination is not ultimately concerned with mere fortune telling, nor even with the divining the spiritual causes in the background of material events, though this latter is of no little unimportance. On the contrary, the practice of divination, when conducted aright, has as its objective the development of the inner psychic faculty of intuition.
It's an enormous asset spiritually to have developed an exquisite sensitivity to the inner subtle world of the psyche. When carried on for a sufficiently long period of time, the practice builds slowly but efficiently a species of bridge between the consciousness of man and that deeper hidden part of his psyche of which usually he is not aware, the unconscious or higher self. In these deeper spiritual aspects of his nature are the divine roots of discrimination, spiritual discernment, and lofty wisdom. The object of divination is quite simply, then, that the construction of a psychic mechanism whereby this source of inspiration and life may be made accessible to the ordinary conscious, to the ego. That this mechanism is concerned at the outset with providing answers to apparently trivial questions is by itself no objection to the technique itself. The preliminary approaches to any study may seem unworthy to or incompatible with that study, and divination is no exception to the general trend, nor is the objection valid that the technique is open to frequent abuse by unscrupulous charlatans. But practiced sincerely and intelligently and assiduously by the real student, consciousness gradually opens itself to a deeper level of awareness. The brain becomes porous to the recollections and dictates of the soul. To use a current theosophical expression, is a true statement of the actual results of the training. As the object of analytical psychology is the assimilation of the repressed content of the unconscious to the ordinary wake-a-day consciousness, so by these other magical means the human mind becomes aware of itself as infinitely vaster, deeper, and wiser than ever it realized before. A sense of spiritual a sense of spiritual oh good god a sense of spiritual aspect of things draws upon the mind, a sense of one's own innate high wisdom, and a recognition of divinity working through man and the universe. Surely such a viewpoint elevates divination above the level of mere occult art to an intrinsic part of mystic endeavor. We had a bit of a shakeup here at the at the temple, guys. So give me just a second. I need to drop this, and then I need to go check on what just happened. And while I'm doing that, I am going to play a quick video to fill about 5 minutes of time while I look into what was going on out there on the porch in Happy Land, as it were. One of my kids causing trouble. I need to make sure they're all right. Give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back with you. And if you're still here, we can continue for a bit.
Invocation of Thoth. Procul, o procul esti profani, or lasti ompeda. In the name of the mighty and terrible one, I proclaim that I have banished the shells unto their habitations. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance, the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou majesty of the Godhead, wisdom-crowned Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee I invoke. O thou of the ivy's head, thee I invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of light and life, thee I invoke. Thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy nemesis as the night sky blue, thee I invoke. Thou whose skin is of flaming orange as though it burned in a furnace, thee I invoke. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of tomorrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force whereof the gods are sprung, which is as life unto the dwellers in the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dusk, and my birth is from the house of death. O ye two divine hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who accompany the bier to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrong, ever advancing onwards the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance wherein Ptah floateth over the firmament. I travel upon high. I tread upon the firmament of new. I raise up flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on in the splendor of the daily glorified Ra, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountains, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. For I am Ra incarnate, Keth-Ra, created in the flesh. I am the eidolon of my father Tamu, lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and a guard sitteth upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself as that of Ptah when he createth his works. I am eternal, therefore all things are as my designs, therefore do all things obey my word. Therefore do thou come forth unto me from thine abode in the silence, unutterable wisdom, or light, or power. So, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of art. Thou, star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all-present in heaven and in hell. Thou that vibratest between the light and the darkness, rising, descending, changing ever, yet ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath borne thee in its bosom, and earth hath ever nourished the changeless Godhead of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto me, so that every spirit of the firmament and of the ether, upon the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of whirling air and of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God the vast one may be obedient unto me.
So it is commanded and confirmed, so mote it be. Amen.
All right, good magic. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are doing well out in Happy Land.
for stopping by. Thank you for all of your questions for the tarot. I hope that I was able, in some small way, to aid or assist you if you were in need of any guidance from the tarot. I'm going to read a little more here of Israel Regardi and stick around for a bit. Yeah, so if you're out there in Happy Land and you'd like to join me here, I already put the link in the chitter chat box, as it were. So definitely check it out and jump on board if you've got something to say or you'd like to share some time. With no further ado, let's get back into a little bit of Israel Regardi's The Art and Meaning of Magic. I should be sharing the screen now. I click the button. Let's see if it works. So I got to click allow. And let's see what the best format for this one is. That looks a little small. I think I'd rather have myself smaller and the text larger. So how about that? Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's jump over here and check it out. We've got everything loaded up. We left off right here that a viewpoint elevates divination above the level of a mere occult art to an intrinsic part of the mystical endeavor. Geomancy, tarot, and astrology, these are the fundamental techniques of the divinatory system. Geomancy is divination by means of earth. At one time, its practitioners actually used sand or black earth in which to trace its sigils and symbols, a typically primitive or medieval method. Today, geomantic diviners use pencil and paper, relying upon graphite in their pencils to formulate, theoretically, a magical link between themselves and the so-called divining intelligences or elementals of Earth. It is, so far as my own experience goes, a highly effective technique, and I can claim at least an 80% degree of accuracy over several years. Tarot is the name of a set of cards, 78 in number, which were introduced into Europe in either the 14th or 15th century from... No one knows where they came from. This is, in fact, kind of a outdated view of it. They're almost certainly came from China and by way of the Middle East. Chinese were making cards for divination as far back as the Shang dynasty on bamboo and in ox bone. And so I think it's pretty obvious that it was a system that came from ancient China. Their origin is a complete mystery. At one period in Europe, there were no such cards available, as far as we can see. At another time, the cards were circulating freely. Little mention need be made to astrology, since that has long been one of the most popular methods with which the public has been familiar. Anyone who practices these methods, with this objective in mind, will assuredly become aware of the results I have described. And while it is true his querents for divination may receive perfectly good answers to the questions they have asked, departing from this threshold in the spirit of gratitude and wonder, the intuitive development accruing to him will constitute the more important side of that transaction. So you could see that by way of me reading tarot for you guys, I'm actually developing a higher level of intuitive development. And there you have it there. That's it. That's going to, I think that'll finish us off, guys, because we have other things to get into. And, we just keep on doing good magic. Put the offer out there if anybody wanted to join in and say hello, but I know that it's bad timing for most folks.
We do have a little activity out in the chat room. So, Ascending Ancient asks, Frank, have you ever heard of the Gene Keys? It essentially has taken the I Ching and astrology and elaborated a self-realization divination method. Yes, I have heard of that. I researched into that recently. Someone had mentioned it. I hadn't heard of it until just recently, but I looked into it, and the foundation of it comes from a guy who said that, I believe he said he came about it through dreaming, if I'm correct in that, or maybe it was some other method. But yeah, it seems somehow valid. I don't know. It's a syncretism. It's a new synthesis of older systems and then brought about in a new fashion. I think the study of the major arcana in and of itself probably is sufficient and valid as a system, and its relationship to astrology and the I Ching. I mean, the I Ching is essentially the origin of the tarot, right? Because the I Ching was put into card form and on bamboo, like bamboo slits that you would shake out of, like a bamboo cup. And so, separating yarrow sticks and casting coins, this was a far more ancient system that predates the tarot by, even in the Western world, at least 2,000 years. Yeah, so these systems were well known in China in ancient times. Okay, yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't seen that. If there's an interview available on YouTube or here on the internet, then I would definitely like to watch it and find out a little more about it. Um, you have a Gene Keys divination deck. Nice, nice. Yeah, any system is valid. Like, any system needs to be learned and studied and then utilized consistently, and with great regularity in order to be of benefit. Like tarot cards, I've been doing since I was like a teenager. I got my first tarot deck when I was like 11 or 12 years old or something, and I've been studying them religiously ever since. Um, I'll show you one of my very first tarot books. Give me just a second. I've got it right here. Yeah, I got it right here with me. So, like, this tarot book, this literally was given to me by my aunt with my first tarot deck, and you could see it's it's quite a thing, man. I've carried it with me for what, 40 plus years now, going on 40 years, 42 years. Yeah, 42 years I've had this thing. It was published like 1979, North Hollywood, California. Um, and yeah, Aline Connolly. I mean, I've got tons of books on the tarot, and I've read them all, and I've studied some of them more deeply than others. But yeah, this tarot book has been a guide that I sought to, like, memorize and commit to memory when I was a kid, like when I was a teen, and it's well worn, and it's been looked through. And let's look at the Hierophant, since I turned right to it. And the Hierophant, the high priest, was actually your card. Oh, and it gives little, I forgot all about this. It gives little prayers for each one. Like for the Hierophant, the prayer goes, "Release me, dear Father, from the bonds of pride. Help me to understand that others too have a point of view. Teach me to listen more carefully and not be critical of the thoughts and actions of my fellow men. Expand my tolerance so that I may help those who may be searching. My vision of life often comes my vision of life often becomes focused only on my personal needs and desires. With thy almighty blessing, I pray that this day I can truly give myself and not be concerned about my own welfare and feelings. Relieve me of my narrow scope of thinking. Release me from my ego, and in thy love, let my actions be a worthwhile acknowledgement that thou, dear Father who art in heaven, liveth in me this day forevermore. Amen." Yeah, so each of the major arcana has a lovely little prayer with it. Yeah, this is a more of a workbook. It's called Tarot, a new handbook for the apprentice by Eileen Connolly. Yeah, and it says that it was actually printed in Hollywood. It says North Hollywood, California, Newcastle Publishing Company, 1979. Yeah, so this thing, and it's held up well for like a large paperback copy. Like this thing has it's gone well, and it kind of shows how well I take care of things. But beginning your apprenticeship in chapter 1, I would suggest that you write to US Game Systems Incorporated, 468 Park Avenue South, New York, New York 10016. They stock the largest and most complete line of tarot decks and books in the country. And at your request, they will send you a lovely color catalog of these items. Yeah, I did that. I wrote and got that, and I've been getting tarot decks from US Games since back in the day, man. I mean, if you think about it, this book, I was 6 or 7 years old when this book was published. So, handling your tarot cards, preparing for divination. I wonder if this is where I learned that prayer for my tarot, because I don't remember. Daily record book. It's more of a workbook, right? A handbook, as they call it. Yeah, I read through this thing so many times. I tried to memorize all these charts. Um, Make sure your surroundings are comfortable, quiet, and restful. Relax as completely as you can. Yeah, so this one is very Christian in nature. Um, Interesting question, Ascending Ancient. Um, what comes to mind when you think of Proto-Persian culture when it comes to your spirituality in conjunctionism with Satanism and the elite? Well, to address this in reverse order, I'm not among the elite, so I don't really often think that much about them very often. Um, they're kind of the archetypical archetypes. They're the major arcana above us, and they do shit that doesn't really concern our day to day lives that much. Honestly, like since I was a kid, I can remember my dad was an officer in the U.S. Navy, and I can remember, me talking about politics and voting and stuff like that with him. And he's like, he was of the opinion, he was of certain opinions, but I saw it play out in real time that very little gets done other than the individuals working at the grassroots level. Very little gets done and very little changes. And I think the US system is somehow set up that way as a republic, that it's not meant to be entirely swayed by democracy. For the last few decades, probably close to 4 decades now, three decades, they've really been pushing that democracy thing, which isn't really essentially a part of the US system, although it's presented as, oh, we're losing our democracy. It's like, well, yeah, we never really had democracy to begin with. We had a republic. But I thought that if I genuinely wanted to rise to the upper echelons of the republic, then I definitely could do so by way of education and civic engagement. But it wasn't really something that I was very interested in. Locally, you probably have greater effect, like committees and stuff locally organized. As far as Satanism, I don't know a lot about it either. Like, I'm not a Satanist. I've never really studied Satanism. I read the Satanic Bible, but it's basically just a load of horse shit. It's just hedonism essentially. Anton LaVey was a circus performer, and he started a not even a religion, just kind of like a
a mental system based on hedonism. I would say that they're probably tied together, the elite and hedonism, and they're more Satyrian rather than satanic. Um, and now let's get back to the part of Proto-Persian culture. I haven't studied as much the European or Middle Eastern Proto-Persian cultures per se, but it would bring to my like the Sumerians or the Canaanites or the other tribes of Israel, the Egyptians, and even I would think that some of the Celts or Germanic tribes are probably Proto-Persian to some extent, even though they may be said to be just that, like the movement about of the Phoenicians. Uh, However, my main focus has been in my spiritual cultivation has been on the ancient Chinese, Babylonian magic and culture. Yeah, I think it kind of plays in. It has pagan overtones, and I've been studying Poke Runyon. I got initiated into his Ordo Templi Astarte, and so we have the goddess Astarte and her counterpart Baal, and there's an entire pantheon of these entire systems. When we get into pantheons of gods, then I consider them to be lesser gods below the one god. And I would think if you can get direct access to the one god, then you don't necessarily need to interact with the intermedium of the multifluous pantheons of lower gods. Okay, Enochian magic like Chaldean. No, haven't studied it, don't really know that much about. I know it's in a lot of the material I do study, but I haven't endeavored because honestly, like the Enochian alphabet and Enochian magic seems like a step down from Chinese Taoist magic. And when uh, approaching these things, I would first and foremost seek the approbation and empowerment of Jehovah or the one God, um, and interaction with like God, the Holy Spirit, and Christ. I think would be a more powerful trinity, like a supernal triad, for like direct access to source energy. And these lesser manifestations I might use as evocative things. Like I commune quite a bit with the god Tahuti, which is Thoth, the Atlantean, but his manifestation comes to me in the form of an ancient Chinese Shen Xian that was a member of the 80 Mortals. And I've encoded it to a level where I believe that more of it is analogy and mm, alchemical metaphor that leads to a different kind of understanding rather than overt like religious worship. So I've with ceremonial magic, I've streamlined my process to be very direct. I use a magic circle like Solomon's circle, and I use a triangle of art, and I use some of the Hebrew God names in order to empower and enshrine within that a window beyond the veil. But I'm a magician. I don't think that the ordinary individual should go about doing that at all, to be honest with you. Just live an ordinary life, prayer and meditation, and try to be a good person. And I think that's enough. And I think unless you have a really deep calling to magic or spiritual cultivation, then it's not something you need overtly engage in. I don't think it's a thing. I don't think it's a practice that's meant for the masses, honestly. Like from our family tradition, it's believed that we're descendants of the tribe of Levite,
at least from my uncle's perspective. He was a Orthodox Jew, and my father always said that we were German Irish Jews. And he never wanted me to engage in any religious studies. He wanted me to be entirely secular. But I think that if I do carry the blood of the tribe of Levite, then I think that may in some way be what makes me naturally inclined to want to study magic. So I think unless you have something like that in your life, um, I don't think that the average everyday individual need waste their time with this, because a lot of these systems are somewhat abstract and obscure and don't really yield any benefit until after a long time of practice. And with that said, you got so many other things that you need to get involved in that you might miss most of the best things in life if you waste too much time with magic, like I have. But I wouldn't take any of it back. I think that it's something I needed to go through. Do you think these stages of awareness, communion, and divination can be done without the rituals? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I was just saying, and I think your question, you probably typed it out as I made my response. I think that if you live an ordinary good life like a normal person, and you'll come in connection with divine through whatever you do. Like if you're a really great swimmer and you work on swimming and you work a regular job, then you're going to feel that divine energy coursing around you as you practice your daily ritual of swimming or weekly or whatever. And if like you work in say the field of medicine or law or something like that, as long as you don't allow for the corruption of like you said, the satanic forces and those forces of dissolution and decadence and degeneration that are trying to infect our world, and obviously demons out of the demons out of the brass vessel, the genie's out of the bottle, right? If as long as you don't like subjugate yourselves and make blood oaths to demons or infernal pacts or engage in ritual satanic abuse of people or become a bad guy, as it were, then I think you're going to level up in this lifetime, no matter what you do. If you're a great carpenter, a great stonemason, you work at, obviously those are archaic jobs, but they're still there. Um, if you're an electrician or a teacher or a secretary or even like a doorman, as long as you do those things, like yeah, that's virtue of Tao right there. The Tao Te Ching is Tao means the way, De means virtue, and Jing means collection of energies that like crystallize towards enlightenment. So the way of virtue and its practice or application is what the Tao means. So like if you're like say you're a doorman at a big building in New York City or something, and you just do your job the best you can and have a ready smile for people and are always sincere, then you're going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, and no matter what way you look at it, you're going to feel that peace of mind of a normal life. You're going to, like I said, you're going to have peace of mind. You're going to have tranquility. You're going to have relatively good health throughout your life. You're going to enjoy relative good fortune. Nothing really bad will happen to you. You're not going to lose limbs or die in violent accidents or encounter very many weird things or hardship. And I think, yeah, the trades, yeah, they're the best paths there are. In fact, the most enlightened people on this planet are the ones who do the trades, right? Um, I mean, at this point, I'm a teacher by trade. I've worked in high school, college, and corporate. So I've had a pretty broad range of working in various fields of academia. But yeah, thank you for the questions and good questions. It's things to contemplate. I think that there are those among us that are inclined towards magic or spiritual cultivation or religion or the paranormal. And those people should definitely pursue it if they feel a strong drawing out, as it were,
and entry into those things, and they should seek initiation and memberships in hermetic orders or esoteric fraternities and stuff like that. But I think for most people, no, it's like because the vast distances in the search for the way do not compare to the urgent immediacy of material interests and needs for most people. And those things must be dealt with first in order to be able to practice magic or practice the way. You must satiate, satisfy, and bring completion to those aspects of life which must naturally be fulfilled in the course of one's given life, right? Family, procreation, education, career, love, all of those things. You have to get those notches on your belt in order to be able to do that other thing. And the path of the magician or the Taoist or the wizard warrior is to do those things for the most part secretly. In fact, I never overtly came out like with my practice until there was a platform like YouTube where I could make the medium available and try to seek out other practitioners, because my path has almost exclusively been that of the solitary practitioner. Even when I went to like Oriental schools of martial arts or Chinese medicine or started joining temples, because I live in China, or and there's such, like I said, there's such great distances between um reaching out for these things, that again, for regular people, it's just not something it's not reasonable, it's not practical, it's not logical, it's just not even achievable. So don't do it, right? And don't waste your time and money. Get a couple of good books on spirituality or self-cultivation, and I know a lot of people like the Bible. I don't personally study it. I did when I was younger, but it's not something that I directly engage in anymore, because it just doesn't have the answers in it that you're looking for. Not for me, for other folks maybe. But abandon the doctrine and the dogma and move toward the living word, right? This is one of the reasons I deeply appreciate Jack Talcott. Many people may lampoon him, but he's trying to be an exemplar of the living word, which is very much different from the written word. The written word is dead, the living word is man. The written word is doctrine and dogma. The living word is fellowship and engagement and productive communion with your fellow man, and bringing things forward. Now, I do sincerely believe that he has his own ulterior motives and hidden agenda as well. But I do think he's really trying to do that thing which is an embodiment of the living word and a transmission of the living. But at the same time, being a transmission of the living word means that you got to learn it thoroughly. And that's what I've spent. I'm 50 now, and I've been studying the way of Tao since I was a teenager, and these other magical systems since I was a teenager. And I'm only now finally coming to the point where I can share the practicus nature of it, right? Um, Good to see you, Sirius B. Welcome to the chat. I hope you are doing well. Um, hello to you. Yeah, so only after 40 years of religious practice, daily practice of my prayers and meditation and qigong and kung fu and sigil working and daily study from morning till night, even let it interfere with other kinds of things, getting in the way of family and friends and fetishes and all of that. Only now am I starting to make the breakthroughs that are worthwhile, that are even worth listening to. It's like, what business would you have getting your tarot read by a 20-year-old that hasn't even had life experience? Like, I can do this now, and I can reach out to the community and look at the cards and try to offer some guidance.
only because of the 4 decades of endeavoring to understand it. And maybe even after 40 years, I only have some superficial understanding, but it is getting deeper. And I think it is at the point in my life where I do have a little bit of something to offer, not only, in my family and my community and my career, but socially here online. Because the great lockdown of 2020, it cut off all social activity, and now you got to have a social credit score and a digital green card in order to even go outside and participate in like social events and stuff. And I'm not going to do that. Do you think? Yeah, somehow, I'm not going to overly opine on it because I like the individual as a person to a good extent, and I don't want to get involved in that type of thing anymore. I have a little bit. I kind of dip my toe in it because it's good fun. But for the most part, we are over here we are over here doing what we're doing, and it's all about magic, and whether that be Western esoteric traditions, the mystery schools, or the ancient Oriental schools of Tao. That's what I do here, and I think you can appreciate that, ascending ancient. And thank you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for enjoying this time with me. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to read tarot for you guys, and I hope we can do it again soon. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the evening. I wish you guys good magic, and I do appreciate the questions, and I appreciate the fellowship. And good to see you, Sirius B, Ascending Ancient, and everybody that was here tonight, man. Good turnout. Really good chat. Very busy. Very busy. Love's Lane was here. Lots of people chatting out there. Brent Edwards, C. Round Preset, Queen. Lots of people stopped by. New and old alike. So if it was your first time, don't let it be the last time. Hit the sub up button. Phoenix was here. Shout out to you, Phoenix. Blessings, beloved. Like and subscribe. Sophia Daisy May was here. Lots of good folks out in the ideas room. Yeah, do that old thing. Shake your moneymaker. Go over to buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Put a little something in the tip jar. That'll keep the lead in my pencil. Let's see. I will check the chat one more time before I bail on out the door. Crow's Nest is here. Good to see you, Crow's Nest. Good to see you. Yeah, no, it's the end of the evening for me, man. I'm 2 hours into it and in it to win it. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish off and wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Sabbath. Until next time, guys, carpe diem, ad astra per aspera. Keep doing good magic and never forget memento mori. I will see you in the abodes of the future. Bye for now.